My name is Brandon. I'm a former police sergeant and assistant SWAT team leader. Today, my mission continues with a remarkable organization called Here Tomorrow, whose mission is the removal of all barriers to mental health support in order to save lives. Welcome to our podcast, Clearing the Minefield. The men and women in uniform who will be our guests have made extraordinary sacrifices in service to their people. Now, with strength and resilience, they live their lives on the road to wellness. We ask you to understand that some of the raw and real experiences they'll be sharing may be unsettling to some viewers. Now walk with me, friend, as we clear the minefield. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Clearing the Minefield. Today we're going to be talking to my friend Jim Wineland. We've known each other for a bit. Jim and his post, the American Legion, he's going to talk about in a bit, actually helped us get our program launched at Here Tomorrow, actually helped us get the program off the ground. So he's going to tell us a bit about his experience. We're going to learn a lot from Jim today. Good morning, Jim.
And how are you today?
I'm doing well today. I'm really glad to have you in the studio. I'm sorry about all the harassment to get you here, but I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, about wore me out.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would. Yeah, I can be persistent. So, Jim, we're going to kind of jump right into it. You're a Vietnam veteran. I know that. Could you tell us a little bit about when you went into the service and kind of what pushed you to do that?
Well, back in that time, you didn't have a choice because there was just a draft. There wasn't a lottery. It was a draft when I got out of school. So I wasn't what you'd say as a college person. So I went ahead and joined the Air Force.
No deferment for you, huh?
Yeah. No. And so, but 6 months after I joined the Air Force, the Army tried to draft me, but I was already there. So.
So you were there when you got your draft notice?
Yeah, I was in the Air Force when I got the draft notice.
There you go. Interestingly, my dad actually says the same thing. So my dad went into the Army. He volunteered because he figures he's a poor kid from northeastern Kentucky. He's going to get drafted.
Yeah.
So he went into basic. 2 weeks later, he gets his draft notice in his house. So there he was. So it's like volunteering, I guess, but
kind of, sort of.
You knew you were going to get there.
It depends how you phrase it.
So where were you from? Where'd you grow up?
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Minneapolis, Minnesota. A little chilly up there. Yeah. Different from Vietnam, I would imagine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
When'd you get to Vietnam?
It was 68.
68.
Yeah.
Okay. That year sounds familiar. That rings a bell. Yeah. So what was your MOS when you went there? What were you doing?
I was a crew chief on fighters and interceptors.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So were you in a position where you expected to be in the kind of the middle of the thick of things, in the middle of it?
I was at Benway Air Base. It was the largest base there.
Okay.
And there was a lot of activity.
There was.
Yeah.
That year, that was a big year, Vietnam. What happened over there that year?
Well, that was the big Tet Offensive was there. I got there about 30 days after it happened.
Okay.
So everybody had to bring me up to speed on what happened. They broke the perimeter and got onto base. So it was still they're excuse me, doing cleanup when I got there. So there's still rocket attacks at night and things like that.
What was it like for you, man? You grew up in Minneapolis. You come from kind of a classic American city. You're in the middle of this.
The thing you got to understand is that you don't know. You hear things about it, but you don't know till you get there, and then it's different. And here I'm 20 years old, still a kid.
Yeah.
And I walked in there and they gave me a piece of paper and they said, "This airplane is yours. That I'd be totally responsible for." And I only had 2 stripes, but they're short of people. So it was a learning experience from day one. It just, you really didn't know what to expect, so you had nothing to compare it to.
Yeah.
It was just hot and it smelled.
So was it? So you have no frame of reference for this, right? So this is this is a foreign land. It probably seemed pretty alien, I would imagine. What was it like trying to adjust to that while you were there?
You just did it. You only had 4 days off a month. You had 12 on, 12 off. So you were in. They kept you busy all the time. You were always busy. Flew 2 sorties a day, and helped the other crew chiefs. We'd load our weapons, we'd do all that kind of stuff, help the weapons people. And there was a situation when my airplane took 50 cal slug on the landing, and we ended up changing the wing over there. It was me and another first termer in our tech manuals.
Okay.
Ripped the airplane all apart and put it all back together. It took us 22 days. We back up there again. So, and that was unusual because of how in depth it was.
Okay.
Because they had to pull the airplane all apart, the engine out, landing gear, all the flight controls. And then it was a chore.
Sure
but
it was.
you didn't know any different,
True enough.
They said, fix it. Okay. You know?
Because you're up for this, right? You're up for that challenge.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can fix that. So while you're over there, you're on this base. This is a large base. It's very active. You mentioned all these different people coming together, right? So this had to be Americans from all over the country.
Oh, absolutely.
What was it like, kind of getting mixed in with a bunch of guys who were just thrown into this?
It was that was a learning experience because a lot of the people, some of the people, first time they had shoes, you know,
Oh my gosh.
and first time they had to shine shoes, first time they had to, iron something,
Hmm.
to stand in formation, and then Benoit Air Base was actually a French base. There was the French side of the base, and then there was the American side of the base, and there was the 101st was there. There was 6 squadrons of fighters. There was huge uh, Army helicopter groups, Cobras and Hueys, and it was constant all day long. There was something going on constantly.
Yeah.
So it was never a lull time. There was always something going on. So you had to do something. So
Guess it's good to stay busy, huh?
you're better off staying busy.
Yeah. So 12 days on, 12 days off. That's a lot.
No, 10 hours, 12 hours,
12-hour shifts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got 4 days off a month.
Paid lunches, of course.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Paid lunches. Yeah.
Free room and board.
You mentioned something just now I thought was interesting. So a lot of the guys, first time with a pair of shoes, all that. My dad grew up in northeastern Kentucky, and I've heard the stories about growing up with dirt floors and potbelly stoves inside. All that. It's just that kind of environment, and he knew that he was going to get drafted. So he volunteered, but given that, in basic, he said, there are guys who this is their first time getting 3 hot meals a day. This is their first time kind of getting medical care. This is their first time getting a look at all this, but they're about to get shipped off to Vietnam. So this is kind of one of those worldview shakers, man. It kind of shifts you around. So you're over there. You got these 12 days on. You're busy. You're trying to keep the air wing up and running. 12 days off. What do you do?
No, it's 12 and 12. I was off 4 days a month.
So you didn't get 12 days off, Jim?
No, I didn't get 12 days off.
Oh, there was no vacation time.
No, it wasn't. No, we didn't tour anywhere. No, we didn't go tour the countryside.
Yeah. What do you do with any downtime that you have? If you're not going on the tours of the countryside.
Well, it was funny that I was in the 90th Tech Fighter Squadron, which was the oldest squadron that was there. It was actually the 90th Bomber Group that Jimmy went over to bomb Japan.
Okay.
And they carried on that same. But I was lucky when I got the short straw that I had to go over to Long Bend to pick up sodas and things for our commissary. And I usually ended up on one of my days off doing that.
Yeah.
So I'm going over there with a beat up truck and, going through that. So it was a way to get off the base.
And get the snacks.
It was a way to get off the base, do something different than what you did day in and day out.
Yeah.
Change your pace.
Yeah, I imagine that was a bit of a relief, right?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't. What am I doing out here?
So what was it like when you ran out to get those things? Were you able to interact, or did you have to interact with the local population? What was that like?
No. Just went from point A to point B.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not
as fast as you would go.
Fast as you could go.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So when you bring those things back, you're there on base. What was life on base like? Was there any kind of a social aspect for you there?
The only thing we had, we called it a drive-in movie. Every once in a while, they'd have a movie. It'd be up at the Airman's Club, and they had a big 4x8 sheet of steel they painted white, and they had a projector. And you sat outside on the ground. We called it the drive-in movie. And I'd have a different movie maybe once, twice a month. But it was some old things you probably already saw,
Okay.
And the audio was not good.
So you weren't getting blockbusters?
No.
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 Okay.
No, we didn't have blockbusters over there.
Dang. So yeah, that came later, I think.
Yeah.
So while you're over there, you got, Mama was home when you left. What's it like for family over here? Were you able to communicate at all?
Well, the only time I got to communicate is when I went to R&R down in Sydney, and I called home. And my mom answered the phone. Oh, and she got all excited to hand the phone to my dad. He says, "Okay, time's up." Hung up. Long distance race.
Okay. Surprise, Mama.
I'll collect.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. But when I left, my mother gave me probably 30 envelopes with the home address on it. She says, "I don't care if you put anything in it. Just I know you're alive. Just send it to me."
Your mom pre-addressed envelopes for you. So, Jim, one of the things that my dad talks about, one of his jobs, was going with officers to deliver notifications that they had lost their sons in Vietnam, and he talks about the pain these people would go through. It's just, God, your world is turned upside down. And one of my least favorite tasks in law enforcement was going to a person's home and letting them know, hey, you've lost a loved one in a car crash, you've lost a loved one to this thing or that thing, and you just watch them collapse, man. I mean, this is just the world turned upside down. So my dad had a lot of anger about that, about having to watch these people, just the sons, these boys were lost. When you came home and you walked back onto the U.S. shores, would you mind telling me a little bit what that was like for you as a service member coming back from Vietnam?
I wasn't welcomed. It wasn't. Of course, my family, and that when we flew into Jersey, we came right off the battlefield. There was 285 GIs on an airplane. We flew all the way across the United States to Jersey, and a friend of mine, it was in a night squadron. Well, he lives in Detroit. I live in Minneapolis, so we're going to be on the same plane. When we got to the airport in Philly, all of the hotels were full. Excuse me, and we missed our flight. And they so we decided to go down to one of the ramps where there wasn't any activity and just kind of stay there. Well, excuse me, one of the security guards came up and threatened us and said he was gonna throw us out and all this kind of stuff. He followed us all night around that airport. And then about 5:30 in the morning, it was my turn to watch. And I woke my buddy up, so here comes another one. And the guy walks up and says, what are you guys doing up here? And I said, we're waiting for a flight. Don't you know it's a USO downstairs? Why didn't the first guy tell us that?
Yeah, good question. You're in uniform here.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
All right.
And so, I mean, that was obvious, And then, of course, until your hair grew out, there was some, Yeah. Then you knew right away, that you were in. I mean, when I got discharged from the Air Force, the sergeant told me two things. Number one, burn your uniforms.
Burn your uniforms.
Burn your uniforms.
Tell me about that. Why?
And then never admit you're in service.
Okay.
I'm driving home. I'm thinking to myself, I'm 22 now. What did I do? What did I get into? Why did I do this? And then the guilt stuff starts. It made you feel guilty because you were there.
Because you were there.
So it was that was something that worked on me for quite a while. So until I decided to pack a little box, put it away in my memory, and I did exactly what that sergeant told me to do. I never admitted I was in the service. So until later on.
Just to be clear,
yeah,
this sergeant told you burn your uniforms and forget you were ever there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good God, man. Forget you were ever there.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you do that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I wish there was a switch.
Yeah. That's a trick, man. It's so different, man, because we get people coming home today. They get parades. They get they get awards. They get hometown recognition, and that obviously wasn't the case for you.
Yeah. Well, not just me. I mean, all of us.
All of you.
Yeah.
And it's a good point. Thank you for saying it in that way, because it's this wasn't just your personal experience, right?
No.
And when I was a kid, the Vietnam veteran were young men. They were late 20s, early 30s, and we saw. I remember seeing a little bit of this, right? But again, just a very different kind of experience coming from the culture. At some point, you've got to have some anger about that. You've got to have some resentment about that.
Oh yeah.
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 What was that like dealing with that?
It was it was a never-ending type of thing. It was not so much anger. It was why, and I said, like I said, I was successfully. I put it in that little box, and so I had it back on my mind. And actually, once the box opened up again, when my son got an issue when he was in Iraq, we also lost him with suicide. That all of that came back out, but then I had trouble putting it in the sequences of when things happened.
Okay,
because it was so long, and. The other thing that was probably the worst thing for me was when they decided 50 years later to welcome us home. that was something that it got to a lot of us. That why are you saying that to us now? Is that to make yourself feel good, or supposedly heal all the wounds for the 50 years?
Mm.
You know.
I want to make sure I understand that. You just said something that's just so powerful, man. You've come home. Your son has gone off to Iraq. You've lost him to suicide.
Yeah. No, almost lost.
Almost lost him to suicide. Yeah. Thank you. Then they welcome you home.
Yeah.
Right. I think that would piss me off.
Yeah.
I think that would just set me off.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that kind of a thing?
You have to, in my case, you had to kind of put it into reality. You have to make a decision that, are you going to let that ruin the rest of your life? It already screwed up part of it,
Yeah.
So you have to kind of figure out ways and triggers and things when things do get triggered, on how to get yourself back to a stable position so you can think, process things. But there's times that myself that it wasn't good at all. I thought about going to the dark side twice, but I didn't. So
what pulled you back?
The last minute, I guess, when I thought to myself, they're winning. They're winning. I thought,
who's winning, Jim?
Well, the one that put me there, the one that took over control. And when you're like that, you're not in control, And so then getting yourself back to the center is it took a long time to learn how to do that.
It does.
Yeah.
I've been there. I've been suicidal. I've been right on the brink. I was seconds away, and it was just a last minute intervention that was chance that pulled me back. And it can be tough, to come back from that position. And you've said something a couple of times. You said you have to figure out how.
Yeah. Did
you have any support in figuring that out? Did the VA provide you with any mental health support, anything along those lines?
No, not really. I went to a group for a while, and there was 3 Vietnam guys in us, and the rest were the today servicemen. They had a lot of questions about us. The camaraderie that we have versus present day. And that was majorly because of the draft, because all we had that was in common with all of us. That kind of held us together, unified us. So, but it just got to the point where I wasn't getting anywhere. Then I went to another program that excuse me, that you went to an individual for 6 or 8 meetings, something like that, and then they would evaluate you and put you in what group they thought you'd fit in.
Okay.
And then that's when I threw my hands up and came down here tomorrow. So
glad you did, brother. So one of the things that it's so frustrating for so many of us Americans. We talk about, we love our troops, we love our soldiers and our airmen and our Marines, we love our police and our first responders, and you go through some extraordinary stuff, that's just most of us are never going to experience. And you come back to this, and the question I always ask myself is, where is that love when it's time to help these men and women? Where is that love when it's time to get them care? And maybe it's just not there for you. And you get to a point where you have to reach out to our organization here tomorrow, and into a program that you helped start. Mm-hmm. This is a program that you got help because you helped start a program. That's a pretty desperate position to be in. I got goosebumps right now, because today we have programs for men and women to walk into. Mm-hmm. You not only didn't have one, you helped start one. What's it like to be that kind of on your own in finding help?
Well, one of the things that's besides here tomorrow, one of the things that really helped me was American Legion.
Yeah.
That when I joined American Legion 20 years ago, you're in there with your group. You're in there with people that you could talk to. We didn't talk about that. We had conversations, and
sure,
at the same level and stuff. I didn't get into conversations with people about the war. I didn't get into that about blowing up stuff and stuff like that. I didn't get into that, but just talking,
Yeah.
just the camaraderie and stuff of the post uh, helped me through it, and it helped me in the middle part,
Okay.
and then Here Tomorrow helped the other parts of putting me together. So
Understood. So you're finally getting help. You're after all these years. It's we know that
yeah,
being welcomed home doesn't feel good.
yeah.
What does it feel like to finally get help after all this time?
It's settling. It's a settling feeling. Like, okay, I got this now.
Hmm.
I got this. And it's been in a position now I can help other people.
Yeah.
So without falling apart.
It's interesting. You say that, I say that. It's I do what I do today. I run a program for military and first responders who might be dealing with suicidality. And Here Tomorrow helps. This helps anybody that needs help. It's just my team focuses on military and first responders. But a big part of my recovery now is being able to help other people
Yep.
walk through this experience
Yeah.
and kind of come back from the brink. Is that how it is for you?
Yes, exactly like that. And yeah, at the post, they know my relationship and why I do things.
Sure.
And it's about the veterans. We have the saying it's not for the applause, it's for the cause.
Not for the applause, for the cause.
Yeah, and that's what our writer group also goes with. That I'm
Your writer group. Tell me about that.
okay. Well, we have Legion writers in the program of the Post. Program of the Post, and I happen to be chairman for the Department of Florida. We have 6,000 writers in Florida, and one of our main, events that we have is just collect money for Project Vet Early Suicide Prevention Initiative.
Sure.
Last year in our big ride in April, we raised $425,000.
$425,000.
Yeah, to help do it. Now, 10 years ago, when he did, we raised 40. So as the message went, we just kept on going, and we kept on, and it just grew and grew and grew. And because of the activities that we have, we go on this ride, a 5-day ride, and we usually have 3 different routes because there's 136 chapters.
136 chapters?
Yeah.
Okay.
In Florida. I mean, from the Keys to Pensacola, Florida.
Gotcha.
So we're scattered. And the purpose of that is that we're what they call Pony Express.
Okay.
And we go and we collect up all these funds, and when we get to the rally, that's when we all get together and celebrate our achievement, and that's when we put all the dollars together.
That's great. And again, those dollars helped get our program started. We've helped over 300, close to 400 now, military and first responders.
Yeah.
Stay in the game, stay in the fight. And we couldn't have done it without you.
Yeah.
So you guys go through all this. You got the Freedom Riders. That's one of the ways that you get out there and raise funds. You've been through all this experience, and now you're able to get some healing. You're able to give back.
Yeah.
What does life look like today in that context?
What do you exactly mean?
So after you've gone through all this, you're able to be in a position now where you can help others.
Yeah.
What does it feel like today for you to be in a position where you're the one helping other people? Maybe you're the person that you needed, when you needed help. What's it like to be that person today?
Well, I don't know how you could define it. It's just that you get there. I don't realize it. I don't comb my hair more and go, wow. I don't do that. I mean, it's just at all. I mean, it's a matter of there was a goal out there to do things.
Yeah.
Not doing something wasn't going to happen. We were going to do something, and it just gained momentum. We keep on doing it. We call it wind therapy when we're out riding because it does help. It's like a freedom thing. It's like riding a horse.
Yeah.
Yeah. It gives you a lot of freedom, a time to think. Put things in perspective. Forget about things that don't mean anything. A lot of people are guilty of that. They worry about things they can't fix, and you get all excited about that or bothered something, but they can't fix it. So why are you wasting your time doing that?
Like what's in your control and what's not.
Yeah.
Jim, it's a remarkable story, my man. All the way from Minneapolis, Minnesota, all the way to Vietnam, all the way back.
Yeah.
Thousands of miles ridden, I'm sure, with the Freedom Riders. Hundreds of thousands of dollars raised.
Legion Riders.
Excuse me.
Don't say
To support veterans, supporting first responders. It's just remarkable that you've been able to go through all this and come out in a position where you're just able to help other people, and we really appreciate it.
Well, I can tell you, it helped me a lot.
Sure.
And I didn't realize it until I got deep into it that it was helping.
Yeah. It's
So
about the cause, right?
Huh?
It's about the cause.
It's
right?
the cause,
Yeah.
not the applause. Yeah, that's correct. So,
Jim, I really thank you for taking the time to be here with us. I thank you for everything that you've done to help
no
veterans.
problem. Because I don't plan on stopping, so get out of the way.
Well, good. Yeah, I love getting out of the way. Yeah. Let other people carry that one. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, we've got this mission that we're working on together. We've been able to do a lot with it, and man, I'm glad we met. It's been a good thing for both of us.
No problem.
Thank you again for coming on Clearing the Minefield, guys. This has been just a great conversation with Jim today about what he's been through, what he's doing today, and how you can go from a position where you're at your darkest, right? You're at your darkest times. You can find your way into recovery. There are a lot of good resources for those, and we'll be talking about them on the show as we go forward. Thanks again, Jim, for coming today. I appreciate you.
No problem. I'm glad we did this.
Me too.
That helped too.
It did.
Yeah.